Picture this. Spider-Man meets Resident Evil with a GTA wanted system.
My name is Alex Mercer. I'm the reason for all of this. They call me a killer, a monster, a terrorist. I'm all of these things. 3 weeks ago, someone released a lethal virus in Penn Station. I woke up in a morgue. Now I hunt. I kill. I consume. I become. I'm gonna find out who did this to me. And I'm gonna make them pay.
Ghost 39 to ground. Do you have target in sight? Over. That's negative.
Help!
Hurry!
Help me!
Don't move!
Help me!
Open up! We're clear. Move up. You, with me. Her too. That's him! Where's your commanding officer? Sir, he's in Times Square. I'll call for transport. That won't be necessary.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Everything Anime Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Shinry. Here on Everything Anime Podcast, we talk about everything from anime, video games, manga, TV shows, and whatever relevant topic we feel like talking about. Today's video is going to be on Prototype. Now, my relationship with this game started in 2009. Back when we used to go to like Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, like to rent a game for like a week. And I remember this game, I remember the year because it was like 2009. I was at my dad's house with my brother, Tristan and Nick, and my sister Angelique, and my stepmom Kelly, and my aunt Debbie. And I remember seeing like this game, and I was like, Dad, I want to play this. I didn't know what it was, but I was just interested. And I'm so glad I did because this game is like amazing. It's like a 10 out of 10 basically for a 2009 game. And whether you played this back in 2009 or whether you're playing it today in 2023, I think it has a lot of replay value because of so many things. Well, let's put it down to three. The first thing, the web of intrigue. Now, the web of intrigue is really great because it's not told to you in sequence. The way that you get information in the game is consuming like certain targets. Now they can be NPCs with like an orange ring around the head, which means like they have information that you need, but like they're not a part of the main story. So you can grab them at any time. And then there's like main targets on the story where if you consume them, they give you memories about what happened, how this black light virus came to be, what happened in Idaho 40 years ago, as well as the present. And so that's like the main gimmick of the game is like figuring out all these pieces. It's like having a 100 piece puzzle board, knowing what the finished product looks like, but needing to get all the pieces to get the whole story. Now, the whole story, there is a lot. Like, I'm only 45% done. I finished the game, but I'm 45% done with the web of intrigue because, there are so many NPCs to still find. You don't get all of them in the story. Like I said, you find them throughout the city as you play. And that is fun because it gives you like replay value. It gives you like, hey, I still have to find more to find. As well as like, I think it's the only one I've ever seen do something like that. Like that's one of the main gimmicks of the game. The second gimmick of the game, one I called it like Resident Evil meets Spider-Man meets GTA, is so let's talk about the Resident Evil part first. So there is a virus unleashed in New York City. And it's slowly spreading. And you'll see this throughout the game. Like, if you open the map, it'll show you, like, red areas, which are controlled by infected, or hives, or they have, like, a hive building there, which is basically, like, where, like, all the infected, like, it's like an infected nest. And then you have, like, the blue areas, which are controlled by Black Watch. They're, like, the police of the game. And then just neutral, which means, like, the city is, like, normal. And then the third gimmick of the game is, like I said, the GTA wanted system. So Alex Mercer is wanted. If the Black Watch soldiers see you, they will fire on like sight, or you can, if you are caught by them, you can grab somebody, a random citizen, just run out of the way, hide, don't be seen, consume them. You'll become them, and then you just walk right past them, and they'll look around confused. You can consume Black Watch soldiers. You can consume random NPCs in the city, as well as that's about it. But the way that the wanted system also works is there are several machines that can still detect you. There are these like floating like little disc things, like little satellites. They go around the city. The closer you get to them, or the longer you linger around them, they'll turn yellow. Stay around too long, or they get too close, they turn red, and alerts everybody that, hey, you are infected, you're probably Alex Mercer. Or just an infected person. And then the other ones are like toxin machines, which affect the infected and make them weak and sick, which also exposes you. There are, if you go near a base, there are like these like little machines, like kind of like alarms, where like I said, the longer you stay there, they blink yellows and they start blaring red and release an alarm, and you'll have like a whole tank strike team coming after you. So those are the three gimmicks of the game that make it really unique. So what's the story? Well, like I said, the web of intrigue is how you're going to learn most of the story, but it's scattered. It's like a 100-piece board. But the basic story is that like Alex Mercer, the main character we play as, he wakes up after being gunned down by these Black Watch soldiers. He doesn't know why he's being chased. He doesn't know why they attacked him. He doesn't know anything. And so the goal of the game is consuming targets and getting information for them, and like learning their memories, because when you consume somebody, you get their memories, their thoughts, feelings towards somebody. So you basically learn about you, and you learn about what happened and how the virus came to be. Long story short, because like I said, the web of intrigue is huge. You will not complete the web of intrigue on your first playthrough. I guarantee you. You're gonna complete it either in New Game Plus, or you're gonna complete it in free roam. But basically, 40 years ago, the world government created this virus. I believe it's called Blacklight. And the organization is called the place they work for is called Gentech, but they're called Black Watch, like the people that work there. Anyways, 40 years ago in Hope, Idaho, they created this virus to control ethnicities, other ethnicities. Basically, the game is saying the government was racist, which isn't nothing new. But anyways, they were targeting other ethnicities. But just like a virus, you can't control what it targets. It targeted everybody in Hope, Idaho. It infected everyone. And so because the virus got out of control, they decided to firebomb the city. There was only 2 survivors. One survivor was Elizabeth Green, who is a woman that doesn't age anymore. They don't know why the virus isn't affecting her like it's affecting anybody else, but it's just not. It's like the virus accepted her, and so they call her mother. Well, the second person was her child, who you don't even find out till way later in the game. But Elizabeth Green was pregnant. That's going to come up later. For now, just remember that Elizabeth Green was pregnant. They cut out the baby, which I believe they killed the baby at first, but they cut out the baby, and the baby's out there somewhere. Now, getting to who Alex Mercer is, you find that out towards the end of the game as well. So, Alex, and this was also, by the way, the original time that the Black Light virus was released, which, like I said, they got rid of it by firebombing Hope, Idaho. It got out of their control. They were trying to control the racial population, ethnic population, and as always, the viruses get out of control. Just like COVID, when they say COVID was only attacking a certain group of people, it attacked everybody. That's
Hope was a Black Watch project. The goal of the experiment was to create a viral weapon that could be used to target specific racial types. But Hope went wrong. A mutated virus infected all those people, drove them mad. Their bodies crawled with hell. And at the center of it all was Elizabeth Green. Now, somehow she survived. Endured the virus, absorbed it, changed it, whatever. Her unique biology inspired this new bioweapons research program. This became Gentech. And Alex Mercer worked for them. There was one leak too many, and Randall stepped in to shut it down. No one was safe. Mercer fled the scene with a sample of the virus, took it as insurance if he needed it. Black Watch cornered him at Penn Station. With his back to the wall, he unleashed the virus on Manhattan. What Mercer did is beyond forgiveness. But there is no Alex Mercer anymore. The virus didn't just kill him, it became him. Copied his body down to the genetic level. It became me. I am the virus. And I, in turn, released Elizabeth Green to infect the city a second time. Now she's dead. All right, but Randall won't accept that the virus can be stopped. And with Firebreak, he'll level the city, just like Hope. But now, Hope has one final riddle to give up. Green was pregnant when they found her in '69. What happened to that child?
I suppose your answer is out there on the Reagan.
All I know is I'll get my answer from Randall.
About biological warfare, you can try to make. I don't want to add like real life things to this, but there can be metaphors for this, like HIV, like how it's supposed to be a gay virus, but you know, like they said, like that basketball player when Magic Johnson got it, they were like, oh, everybody can get it. It's not just a gay thing because that guy was straight. And yeah, that's how viruses work. You can try to use it to control one population or certain people, but it's going to break out and affect everybody. But so that's, I mean, it's kind of like breaking the fourth wall, sort of. But anyway, so who Alex Mercer is, the character who's trying to get all his memories back, after he consumes enough targets, especially main targets, he finds out who he is. Alex Mercer is dead. This guy is not Alex Mercer. Alex Mercer was a Gentech scientist who learned about Hope, Idaho, and what happened, and basically, like, Black Watch was killing Gentech people that found out. They were like, hey, you know too much. We're going to kill you. And they were killing everybody. So Alex Mercer took a vial of black light, ran to Penn Station, basically like trying to get insurance, like, hey, you're not going to kill me because I know too much and I have this virus. They gunned him down. They cornered him, so he unleashed the virus, not even realizing that like, this is going to infect the whole city. This is going to destroy the whole city. And then they gunned him down. Alex Mercer died. But the blacklight virus, which was unleashed, took his DNA and created its own version of Alex Mercer with no memories because he was just created. Like, he was created from the virus. So this Alex Mercer, who they also nicknamed Zeus, and it's something about it's like a Prometheus reference, like how Prometheus reset the world at fire or tried to burn down the world at fire. Alex Mercer, the human, tried to destroy the world with blacklight, which technically he did. And now, so something about this. I don't understand the biblical reference, but that's what it says in the story of the game. So, anyways, Alex Mercer, the human, unleashed the blacklight virus for the first time in present day. So that's why in the game, when you start, there are certain parts of the city that are infected, and then there are other places, like I said, that are neutral or they're controlled by the Black Watch government. Now, one other cool gimmick about this game, the reason why I called it like Spider-Man meets Resident Evil, is because the city will gradually get taken over. The city is going to be destroyed in 18 days. The whole city is going to be infected. Or like 75% of it. Because there's still going to be neutral places you can go to. Which I like because at one point in the game, you can stroll through like the normal part of the city and then slowly you'll see cars start crashing. You'll see people trying to avoid you or run and they'll be chased by like the infected NPCs. And it's fun to like, not fun to see, but it's just interesting because most NPCs, they don't do anything. Like they just stand around. But I think it's funny that the NPCs run if they see you consume somebody. The Black Watch soldiers gun down infected and normal humans because they don't know the difference. They don't care. Because they know the black virus is out there. So anybody has the potential to be infected. And so they'll just gun down anybody. And also, these AI NPC gun soldiers can help you in boss fights. Like you will see them do damage to the boss. It'll be like tiny little bits, but you will see the boss's health gradually go down. And I think that was like a really cool thing because, like I said, most NPCs, they don't do anything at all. What else? I was talking about the story. Oh, yes. So, Alex Mercer, the second time the virus gets unleashed even bigger is because as he's going through these web of intrigue and learning more about the past, he learns about Elizabeth Green being captured, but he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know about the child. Like, you don't learn about the child and her being pregnant to the very end. So he goes into a Black Watch base, unleashes Elizabeth Green, which is the second time Alex Mercer, this time the virus version, or Alex Mercer, aka Zeus, unleashes the virus again. And once Elizabeth Green's out, she's also known as Mother. She unleashes these hunters, which are like alien human hellhounds, and they go and spread the virus even more. So that's when you see the city like rapidly start getting infected. You'll see hives pop up here and there. You can take the hives down. It'll give you like experience points. You can take out bases. They'll reduce the strike teams that come after you. It'll give you points. But I thought that was really interesting. And it also gives you like two enemies to worry about. You have the infected, as well as these infected monsters and creatures to worry about, and then you have the Black Watch humans to worry about. And but that's basically the story. But like I said, there's more to it because throughout the web of intrigue, I'm only 45% out of like 100 because you're not going to get it all in one playthrough. You're either going to get it all in free roam or you're going to get it all at New Game Plus. But someone on YouTube, someone's like compiled like the most important parts. I think it's like the complete story, but it's very interesting. Some gimmicks in the game are there are two kind of like things you can hijack. So like you have power, which I'm gonna get into in a second, but you have like several weapons you can hijack. Some of the weapons you can hijack are a tank. So the easy way to do it, the easy way to do it is to consume a soldier without being seen, go back towards the tank, and then they'll just let you in. The hard way to do it is if you are detected as a fake soldier or an infected soldier, or if you are Alex Mercer himself, you'll have to pry it open. And one cool gimmick is, like, even though you're trying to pry it open, the game isn't stopping. You can still get shot at, and it'll knock you down. You can get hit by missiles, or an enemy can attack you and knock you down. But if you do pry it open, you'll just jump in there, you'll consume and kill everybody, and it shows it. Sometimes there's a guy trying to claw his way out. He's like, oh, no, not me. And Alex Mercer will pull him back in and kill him. I thought that was really funny sometimes when it happens. And not every time. But the tanks are very good for, like, taking out enemies, bosses, things like that, taking out hives, taking out bases, taking out random enemies or infected. And you can also just shoot, like, in random NPCs throughout the game. Like, there's no consequence to that, which is hilarious. I don't know why my nose is itching so much. But the other thing you can hijack is a helicopter. And helicopters are way more useful than a tank, in my opinion, because there are very few weapons and enemies that can, like, throw things at the helicopter. The bosses definitely can, but, like, there are very few enemies that can do that. So if you can hijack a helicopter, like, you are gold. But the easy way to do that is unlocked way later in the game. The hard way to do that is to jump in the air, fling yourself to the helicopter, and then there's still no guarantee you're going to grab onto the helicopter. You have to hope you're near the hot cockpit. And then once you do, you start trying to pry open the door. Because I don't think you can do it as a soldier. Just like, well, you can as a soldier. Like, one easy way to do it is, like, if it's already grounded, you can just walk up to it and get into the helicopter. But if it's already in the air, they already know you're infected, so they won't let you in. But the easier way to do it later in the game is one of your powers is a whip fist. And basically, it'll fling out, like, this, like, whip tentacle, like, tendril arm, and it'll grab onto the helicopter no matter how far it is, and you'll fling yourself to it, and just jump till you get to the cockpit, pry it open, take over the helicopter, which is really fun. I love controlling the helicopters. Other than that, you have your own set of powers. There are several powers you have. The first one is Blade. Basically, they're done in different orders. The first one's actually claw hands. They're not like Wolverine claws, but they're, like, long like those. And, like, you can just cut through opponents. You can see their bodies getting sliced up, slash up cars, things like that. The blade arm is, like, literally like a long scythe-like blade where you, like, just swing your whole arm and elbow and just, like, cut through things. It's the stronger version of the claw hands. There is a shield, which basically, like, it'll just manifest like this, like, alien shield, and he'll just run forward, and you can block bullets, but you can't block, like, rockets. They'll blast you backwards and things like that. But it's pretty good for, like, just, like, basic defending, and as well as, like, plowing through, like, humans. Like, they'll just get, like, pushed and knocked out the way. The next one's armor, which you get later in the game. Like, basically just becoming a suit of armor. Now, the difference in armor and shield is shield, you can still have, like, fast movement, and you can be agile, like jump high and things like that. Whereas, like, the armor is, like, heavy, so when you try to jump, you don't jump that high. Like, say this is a shield, you jump this high, but then with the armor, you jump, like, that high, and then, like, your movement's slower. Whereas, like, the shield, like I said, you run through enemies. But the armor, it will still plow through enemies, but I think it, like, kind of cuts them in half because, like, maybe how sharp it is. Then there are hammer fists, which basically, like, your fists become, like, giant rocks, and you can, like, basically plow through your opponents, punch them. Increase, like, strength over power. You're not as fast, but you have more strength. The whip fist, which I mentioned before, is for, like, grappling, but you can also grab opponents, pull them towards you, things like that. Grab on the helicopters. Muscle mass is for, like, throwing. I thought it was like it doesn't look like hammer fist because your entire arm to your hands are covered in, like rock, compared to, like, muscle mass, which is just, like, your fists themselves. But that was hammer fist. But muscle mass is just, like, basically, like, throw objects, things like that. You have two different versions of sensory eyes. The first one is, like, thermal. It just detects any enemies, black box soldiers, things like that. But the second one is infected vision, and that's just anybody infected. And those include humans that don't know they're infected, like, they're still walking around normal. They're not yet becoming those infected creatures, which if you consume those, it replenishes your health, as well as, like, gives you critical mass, which I have a problem with critical mass. I'm going to bring that up in a second. Because critical mass is how you're going to use your Devastator moves. Your Devastator moves are the most powerful form of your power set. And I believe there's four. There's four. So the first one is Ground Spike Graveyard. It's basically your claw move. You dig your claws into the ground, and all these spikes will pop up all around you and basically pierce all your enemies, hold them up on stakes like Vlad the Impaler used to do to his enemies, and just skewer them through. The second one is Tendril Barrage, is the one I use most, and probably the one you've seen in the trailer. It's when he draws his hands in, and all these like tendril-like things strike out and consume enemies, as well draw the energy back into his body. It kind of reminds you of like the claw one, the ground spike graveyard, except this one comes out of his body, and it looks different too. The third one is air ground spike graveyard, which when you fall from like a tall building, you're like basically come down like a meteorite just to obliterate everything on the ground around you. And then the last one is critical mass. What is it? Critical mass. It looks basically like a Kamehameha blast where you like put his fist together and you like blast forward. I'll be sure to show some of that in like a video game trailer, or I'll try to get some of that gameplay footage as well. Let's think. Anything else I can think of? As far as powers, there's an upgrade system. You can upgrade all of these powers and abilities, make them even stronger, which I love because you would think a game like this would be just kind of basic, like it wouldn't have like an upgrade system, but the upgrade system is fun. Like there's various other things you can do, like ground slam, like hunters, which like for those animal alien dogs. Increase your jump height, increase your health system, things like that. Oh yeah, get into critical mass. So the only way you can use Devastator is using critical mass. And critical mass is when your like health bar is larger than, like after you consumed more infected or got your health bar up, it goes past that. But the reason I don't like it is because like you'll get attacked by enemies constantly. So the only way to use your critical mass is to not get hit. Because if you get hit, you're going to lose your chance to use that ability. Which I honestly hated. That was really annoying. I don't know why anybody decided to do it like that. That was really annoying. Like I said, the Web of Intrigue itself is basically the main gimmick of the game. You can also rewatch them. There's like a mini like screen player where you can go back and like choose which memory you want to see. But like I said, it's like scattered. There's no like line or like sequence of events to go through. It's all scattered. So I talked about the powers. I talked about hijacking. Let me see. I talked about upgrades. I talked about ways to be detected. If you're seeing consuming.
You see that? I'm taking a look.
Let's talk about these boss fights. There are two main boss fights that gave me a problem. The first one was Elizabeth Green. Elizabeth Green, that bitch was annoying because so these bosses, they do not let up their attacks. You have to just get in, get out, otherwise they will kill you because the defense and the armor will not protect you as much as you think it will. It should protect you more, especially if you can increase it, but I don't think the armor and shield get increased like that, but other powers do, but these don't. But Elizabeth Green, the first move she does is like these green ball attacks. They can just linger there until she decides to fire them, and she don't fire them until she sees you. And the other thing is, if that doesn't hit you, then she attacks you with these rocks that she'll spew out. And then the last one is if you do try to get up close, these tendrils will attack and hit you. Oh, no, there's one more thing. And then if you're still too close for too long, she will do like an energy blast and it'll do a lot of damage. And the way I had to do that was you use these devastator attacks and then you run and hide. And you have to go, like I said, consume. That's the problem with critical mass because you have to have critical mass to do devastator moves. So I had to just go use my devastator move, go run and hide, and you're also getting attacked by hunters and leaders in the middle of these fights, as well as Black Watch soldiers. So, like I said, again, that takes out your critical mass. So fighting her took like 2 to 3 hours almost just to take her down because, and I'm telling you, look it up. There are YouTubers that even mention it, how annoying it is. And then the last boss fight, well, to explain that, we have to get back to who Elizabeth Green's lost child was. Now, like I said earlier in the story, Elizabeth Green was pregnant with a child. This child turns out to be Cross. Cross is a Black Watch agent who's been talking to Alex Mercer throughout the story. So the story starts in 18 days later after the Black Watch virus has been released. but we didn't know who he was talking to. And you actually fight Cross halfway through the game. Like, he is trying to kill Alex Mercer because that's what Gentech want. I mean, that's what Blackwatch wants. They're like, hey, take Alex Mercer. He's dangerous. Or at least, well, they want to recapture him because he's not like regular infected. They don't know why. And so they want to capture him. And in the end, when you find out that it's Cross who you've been talking to, in the final memory, Elizabeth Green's child was Cross. Now, Alex Mercer died, and Alex Mercer's Zeus is the Black Eye virus incarnate of him that was created from his dead body. Whereas Cross was born with the virus because he was inside of his mother's body, Elizabeth Green. So he is born, you're talking about a fight between a born infected and then a created infected. And I don't remember what Cross's motivation was. But basically, he's like, in the end, toward the end of the game, because the city's infected, like I said, 18 days later, Blackwatch's like, hey, we're going to do the same thing we did with Hope, Idaho. We're just going to blow up New York City. And the crazy part about that is like, I don't know where Hope, Idaho is, but it had to be somewhere in the middle of nowhere because it was a government-controlled city. But this New York City, people would know, people would talk about, like, hey, something obviously happened because New York City's gone. But Blackwatch doesn't care because they're like, hey, if this virus is out, we're all fucked anyway. The whole city's going to be destroyed. And it is continued in Prototype 2, but I don't give a shit about Prototype 2. We're not talking about that. But anyways, Cross was like, I'm going to survive this no matter what. And we know that to be true because Alex Mercer, he goes and drops a bomb inside of the ocean that they were going to use to destroy New York City. And Alex Mercer is blown up. Alex Mercer's Zeus. But then the virus finds a crow and it kills the crow and brings it back to life. So obviously, Cross would have survived. So maybe Cross's whole thing was just like, hey, I'm going to survive this. I'm just in it because like Blackwatch basically created me. And because they technically did, they infected his mother, Elizabeth Green, and then he was born from her with the virus inside his body. So that would make sense for him. Just maybe like a survivability thing for himself. But game stories, a 10 out of 10. Like I said, it's just you have to play it again to get all of the Web of Intrigue, or just do free roam, or just do the New Game Plus. This is my second time playing the game ever. And originally I played it with my brother Nick, so we beat it together. It was a bitch doing it again by myself, fighting these bosses, because they almost made me want to rage quit. Let me check my notes, see if I have anything else to say about the game. Like I said, the AI, the people in the city, they won't react to Alex Mercer or until you consume somebody in front of them. Then they'll scream and panic and run away. Cars will crash. Like I said, they'll run away from you. You can just randomly kill people and it'll scare them. You basically are a villain, especially learning that Alex Mercer originally unleashed the virus not once. Well, the human Alex Mercer released the virus once, but twice as Alex Mercer Zeus, the created infected by releasing Elizabeth Green into the world and into New York City and all her hunters and leaders and things like that, alien subordinates. So this is the first time we're playing a villain who didn't know he was a villain, and we didn't know he was a villain until the end. And then, like I said, in Prototype 2, I have played it. He is the villain in Prototype 2, so I guess Alex Mercer at the end of the game is just like, fuck it. I am the virus. The virus is me. I guess I'm evil now. I don't know. I don't think everything was really explained in Prototype 2. But I know Prototype 2 is a different game, different protagonist you play as. Whereas, like I said, basically, this whole game, you've been an antagonist the whole time and you just didn't know it. Because even if Alex Mercer, the Zeus, thought he was doing a good thing, he's still consuming innocent humans to hide from Blackwatch, as well as and Blackwatch, I don't think they're obviously not good people. They created this virus to target racial ethnicities, and then they kept this virus around. They kept Elizabeth Green alive, and her unborn, and her child, who grew up to be Cross inside of Blackwatch, which they definitely had to have known about. So it's yeah. There are no heroes in this game. There are no heroes. But it was very entertaining. I'm glad I replayed it again. It was only $4.99 on PSN. So I was very happy to buy and purchase it. I have fond memories of it. I'll probably buy the physical copy. Well, the physical copy is selling for like $80 right now. You know, those retro games and things like that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. The tease for the next video is going to be coming up right now. This video was also sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series. I hope you guys give it a check out. And watch out for the next video. It's probably going to be about Demon Slayer. Then we're going to get back on Dr. Stone. We're going to be doing this back to back. I've got some One Piece content coming up, which is going to be really fun. And then, like I said, we got more game reviews coming around. The next game review is going to be revealed right here. Until then, guys, hope you have a good day.
This video was sponsored by the Shinry series. Check out our link in the link tree below to all our current published books, starting with the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite, If You Go, Where Monsters Dance, Road to Rain Over Your House, Love Be Damned. The Chronicles of Wayne is an LGBT fantasy series about a boy that gets bitten by a werewolf and becomes the first ever wolfman. Or if you like anime, manga, and things like that nature, you'll like the Shinry series, starting with Shobi Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobi Samurai sets out on a quest for vengeance, but instead faces a choice to save his home from powerful enemies. The Shinry series is inspiration from Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, and other anime that I reused to create my own series. Check it out, guys, in the link tree below if you guys like to read, or if you just want to give it a like and review. I appreciate that as well. Sometimes we do giveaways, and we might start doing that again on this channel for the first time. And I hope you guys have a great and fantastic day.
Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.